going on, dudes and dudettes? Yes, the Mandalorian finale was yesterday. It was pretty awesome and pretty much an up and down season overall. The series has been great, but yeah, it was pretty much up and down this season. I know even before the season came out, they already said they were going to make, or at least writing a season 4, so pretty much knew nothing crazy was going to happen. But yeah, overall, enjoyed it. I know a lot of people probably didn't think the whole thing was great, but I still enjoyed it overall. Definitely looking forward to the future of Star Wars. When it comes to the future of my teams, though, yes, Bear Alexander, one of the top targets overall in the portal, has recently, I know he's been trying to set up a USC visit, been talking to them recently here, but apparently he has officially set up a visit to USC over this weekend. I think from Saturday to Monday, something like that, or maybe starting tomorrow, actually. So yes, definitely looking forward to hopefully after that visit or even during it, him officially, crossing the T's and dotting the I's on his, commitment and it being done. So hopefully he doesn't end up going anywhere else. But I know a lot of people have mentioned too, like maybe he's leaving Georgia because of character issues. And yeah, he got some playing time last year as a true freshman and he was supposed to be stepping up as the main guy this year, you would think, but maybe that wasn't the case over there in Georgia. And he obviously sees a bigger opportunity with the holes that USC has on their defense. So I'm not mad about it. Hopefully, I know USC has been able to take in a lot of these supposed character issue guys or guys that left over playing time, and it has worked out for USC so far. So we will see. And then Trey White, the now ex-USC basketball guard, apparently he entered the transfer portal the other day, which is a little bit surprising. Kind of thought that he was still going to have some playing time, especially with Reese Sticks and Waters moving on, but maybe seeing that Boogie Ellis returned at a similar position, and then maybe the idea that Bronny James is still coming to USC might have put some more doubt in him. Even one of the other top freshmen, Silas Damari Jr., is still requesting to get out of his commitment too. So I don't know. It seems like a done deal for Bronny James, but still no word as usual. Then the offensive lineman Ethan White, who was a transfer to USC from Florida early this year, apparently is not going to be transferring to USC anymore. I know people have speculated that maybe he's just going back to Florida or something had happened money-wise or whatever, but apparently, according to head coach Lincoln Riley today during a conference call, he did say that there was maybe an injury that kind of maybe would be putting Ethan White, out of football for the rest of his career, something that they were unsure about, and maybe the player was as well, but Ethan White or his people have not come out and said anything official. Lincoln Riley said he did not want to break any type of news or put out anything out there that would not be true or did not want to break anything, but he kind of did say that pretty much why he isn't coming to USC anymore is because he either doesn't want to play football anymore or he has some type of health issue that is going to keep him out of playing football. So either way, don't feel bad about it. Good luck to him, and hopefully he gets better, whatever it is, and don't make it worse by playing football and it becoming a bigger problem later in life. But yeah, either way, I know USC, I'll get into later in this video who they've been looking at now, because they have been offering a lot of offensive linemen the past couple of days, so we will get into that. And then yes, the House of Victory that I mentioned the other day, that was a new NIL team that was going to start getting a lot more sponsorships and ads and stuff for these players, enough revenue to be able to make money while they're at USC. Started off their pretty much campaign with a lot of these guys, or players actually, and the first one they actually signed that they put up was one of the top women's soccer players that they had, Simone Jackson, who actually did make the under-20 women's national team, so she is a pretty talented player. So that was one of the first people they put up that they signed. Another person they did was on the football team, the offensive lineman, the center, Justin Dedich, who is one of the main guys on the team, definitely the captain, not only on the offensive line, but the team as well, so that's a big get for them. And then one of the nice players, I think he's a sophomore, I always forget, but Kobe Johnson, the guard, also signed with that House of Victory NIL collective. So that's pretty nice start. You're hitting 3 different sports as well, and some of the top athletes out there. I know they're probably not going to end up getting like a Caleb Williams or anything like that, but starting off with the Justin Dedich and Kobe Johnson and Simone Jackson, one of the top women's athletes out there, would be pretty good. It's a pretty good start, in my opinion. So, yeah, we'll see who else they can end up getting in the near future. And then when it comes to a couple of these players that have been either setting schools up or setting up visits for USC in their top 8 or officially coming to visit USC, have a lot of these guys to go through. So to start off, the 4-star linebacker from the state of Washington, Braden Platt, he recently put USC in his top 8, and he's one of the more talented West Coast players, definitely probably the best player up there in the state of Washington, and I definitely remember seeing his highlight film a few months ago and definitely was hoping USC would be in the running, and luckily they are at least in the top 8, so that's a nice start. So hopefully they will be able to steal them from out there. They've been able to steal some of the top guys from the state of Washington the past couple of years. And then a 4-star local cornerback in Dakota Fields recently set up a June visit the other day, so that's pretty good to get one of the more talented guys out there. I know he's trending towards USC as well as a commitment, so pretty excited about that. A 4-star linebacker from St. John Bosco, Kingston Viliamu Asa, he set up a visit as well. I'm pretty sure he might be coming with Dakota Fields, and a lot of guys are setting up a mid-June visit, so I'm pretty sure that's USC did that last year where they had like 25 to 30 plus players during that one weekend, and I think like 13 or 14 of those players that were there actually ended up signing and are on the roster at USC or will be this summer. So it was a pretty big weekend. I think they spent a couple millions of dollars, which is pretty crazy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're trying to do the same thing, and hopefully we'll get a couple of these guys to bite. Then a top talented local California guy, 4-star wide receiver Xavier Jordan, set up a June visit as well. So luckily, hoping to get one of these top local guys as well. And then the 2024 commit at tight end, Joey Olsen. According to On3, their rankings, he did move up about 60 spots, and that's right before he plays his senior year. So he definitely has a chance to move up as well. He probably will still just be a 4-star, but yeah, he's actually the lone commitment for USC in the class of 2024 so far. But see that his talent is boosting him up the rankings. Definitely a very exciting thing for us USC fans. So definitely happy about that. Then one of the top junior college safeties, you know, I didn't even put his name, sadly. But yes, he did reschedule for a June visit. I think he was supposed to be there this last weekend for the spring game, but he had some other thing to do, so he rescheduled for this big June thing that's going to be happening in about a month or so. So, yeah, like I said, this June, midway through June is going to be a big time for these commitments coming up for USC. That's why it's maybe been lacking, the number of guys that have been saying they're going to USC as of right now, but that's just because they're waiting for the official visit. And you know, I'm pretty sure we'll get a lot of guys in the summer to commit to USC. That's what I'm hoping for. Then the ex-Houston offensive lineman, Cameron Johnson, I mentioned him in the last video. He did set up an official visit to USC. I think that's either happening this week or next week, but it does seem like it's already pretty much down to USC and Missouri, where his ex-coach went to go coach as well. So hoping that, you know, USC's brighter lights are better for him. Definitely has a chance to start right away because he will be more of a veteran compared to the other guys at those guard positions. But yes, hoping for the best in that outcome. And then, like as I mentioned, they did offer another offensive lineman out of Wyoming, in Emmanuel Pregnon. Never really heard of him, but definitely according to those pictures, he's like 6'6", over 300 pounds, and I think he played guard there, but they said he's too athletic, so they might actually end up moving him to one of the tackle spots, which gives, you know, a lot of these guys a bit more competition if he does end up choosing USC. But he's definitely a very, you know, interesting type of player, especially athletic wise. So we'll see if he ends up coming to USC or not. And then yes, 17 draftees have been invited to the NFL draft, and along with one of them is the wide receiver from USC, Jordan Addison, which is pretty awesome. So that pretty much means once you get invited to that means you're going to most likely be a first-round pick, which will keep USC's football streak alive of having at least one player drafted in the first round. So very excited about that. Definitely rooting for him, see wherever he goes. I know even the Chargers are interested in him and have talked to him, so you never know. So we'll see. And then speaking of those Chargers, yes, they re-signed a wide receiver, their speed wide receiver, in Jalen Guyton. He did hurt I think he tore his ACL during that Jacksonville game where it was already a blowout, and don't know why he was still in there, but of course ended up having a pretty bad injury and did not play the rest of the year. And it looks like he's okay enough that they're able to re-sign him. Maybe he's not going to be playing right away, and maybe he still is gaining that speed back, but I don't think he would have re-signed him if he didn't have most of that 4.2 speed. So it's looking at least positive right now, but I'm pretty sure the Chargers will go for another receiver or two in the draft, in my opinion. And then, yes, there was a report out there that the Lakers are definitely interested in a player like Draymond Green. He's definitely, according to them, one of their dream free agent acquisitions if he were to become available during the summer for free agency. I think he might be up for an extension. I think that's what it is. That's why they're even talking about this. But I don't know. He just recently did something dumb, stomped on a player that got him suspended for this game coming up tonight against the Kings. So I don't know. A lot of people say Grayson Allen is a horrible person, but Draymond Green is right up there. He's pretty bad too, especially when it comes to certain moments in a team's time. Because I remember he got suspended one of those games during the finals, and that was when they were already up 3-1. And of course, LeBron and the Cavaliers came back to win that series. So I don't know. Maybe LeBron could teach him up and calm him down, but then again, that's the best of Draymond Green is when he's out there competing like that. He's made a career out of that. So, I don't know. Excuse me. We'll see, but it could be a lot of drama if that were to happen. Excuse me. And yes, the Lakers did lose yesterday to the Memphis Grizzlies. The series is tied now 1-0, and not so surprising. They came out pretty flat. Only scored 19 points in that first quarter, and they were never able to really get that close. I think they got up to maybe only down by 6 points midway through the fourth quarter. And then, it was kind of too little too late. And they kept letting Memphis get in there and score easily. And Xavier Tillman, a guy off the bench, had over 20 plus points. And then it was just a really good team win by Memphis because they did not even have Ja Morant, their best player, as well, and already missing those two other centers as well before the series started. So I don't know. I think the Lakers let this one get away. They lost by 10 points overall, and pretty sure LeBron will have to come out pretty well, set up a statement game in a couple days when they're back home in LA. But if the Lakers lose any of those games in LA coming up, it's obviously going to go to 6 games, but it definitely has a chance to go to 7 games, which is not going to be good for the Lakers' chances of advancing far in the playoffs, in my opinion, because there seems to be something wrong with LeBron James injury-wise, because I know he mentioned there's something wrong with his foot. That's why he was out for so long, and even mentioned he was going to have off-season surgery on it eventually. But yeah, it just seems like he wasn't really pushing and doing what it is and stepping up when he was supposed to at times. They kind of let that game get away, and D'Angelo Russell sucked scoring and shooting the ball. Anthony Davis barely had over 10 points, missed more shots than I think points, and yeah, didn't show up on defense. It did suck. He did even get blocked pretty bad by a bench guy, but I don't know. We'll see if they can come out and get that victory or not in a couple days. So ending off on some miscellaneous news, yes, apparently, according to reports, Adam Driver, guy from that recently movie 65, and also playing Kylo Ren in Star Wars and all that stuff, he is in final talks to become the leader of the Fantastic Four in Reed Richards, which is pretty interesting. I know a lot of people are kind of upset because they thought of him more as a Doctor Doom, which is the enemy of the Fantastic Four and a lot of Marvel characters, who would be a pretty good big time bad guy like Thanos. But I don't know. I think either way, to get a caliber actor like that in the Marvel universe is still really good, especially to lead the offense, the team in the Fantastic Four. I think it's pretty cool. So we'll see. I know a lot of people like John Krasinski when he showed up in Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, it's number 2, the Multiverse of Madness. But that's a different world or universes. Reed Richards or whatever, leader of the Fantastic Four. So it did not have to be him, but it would have been pretty cool if it was him as well. But yes, definitely looking forward to see what Adam Driver can do. And then, yes, Zack Snyder recently said, director of like 300, Watchmen, obviously the more recent like Batman, Superman stuff for DC. He recently said that his plan for Justice League 2 was to have more of like how the way the first one ended, his like long 4-hour thing that he created after, all that stuff happened. But even when that was released and how that ended, there was like a nightmare version, as they call it, where it's a different universe of what would happen if Lois Lane had died and Superman becomes like ultra evil and is like pretty much hunting down all of those superheroes and trying to get revenge, basically. And yeah, it was a pretty cool way they set up that ending, because they were able to bring in a lot of different characters and able to do a cool thing. And even like how cool that Nightmare Batman, even like a statue that they have of him, it looks like, even the whole getup, it looks like a Mad Max Road Warrior type of feel. And that's what the second movie would have been like. He said it would have been like a Road Warrior-esque, like where they call it No Earth in that time in the comics, where it's just like very bleak, very dark. And I know a lot of people don't like a lot of the DC movies because that's how they kind of became very dark and too serious at times. But I liked it. It was a nice template, I forget what it is, but it's a nice change comparing it to like Marvel movies, which were kind of more bright and shiny and a little bit more happy and jokey. But yes, I kind of like the darker version of comics, and it's kind of hard to make those Batman, Superman movies not a little bit dark anyway. So pretty sure that's how the newer stuff's going to be. But yeah, it's tough because I'm pretty sure we're not going to get anything of the older Justice League or all those other actors that were involved in that era, that recent era of DC. So it sucks, but yeah, would have been pretty awesome in my opinion. And to end this video off, yes, apparently Frank Ocean is the main guy that would have been playing and closing out Coachella, because I think he played this last weekend and he was supposed to play this weekend also to close it out. But apparently, I don't know due to what reason, but he is not going to be playing, and Coachella decided to ask and hope that Blink-182 was still available, and they were available, so they actually are going to be the ones closing out Coachella, which is pretty cool. So hopefully we'll be getting some more songs being played by them. Then maybe they're going to be playing a little bit longer, but I think that's pretty cool that they got them out there. It was probably a big hit, especially on their social media and YouTube wise, of when people were watching mostly was with Blink-182, because like I said, I don't know many of the other artists that were there or DJs or whatever the heck that was there. But yeah, it's the only reason I'll be watching the Coachella YouTube channel this Sunday, so definitely looking forward to that. If you are as well, if you're Blink-182 fans, you should definitely check it out as well. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, fight on.